Hello YouTube,
and TCG fans,
this is Davide
and James
from Cardbound bringing you a Yu-Gi-Oh! Ghostrick deck profile. And I want to ask you guys to check out our channel and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! And TCG videos.
Yes, so this is one of my old decks. We would have done it earlier when Ghostricks were more prevalent, but legitimately I completely forgot about this deck. I love this deck, but I was like, just completely forgot about it, and in terms of the channel, making a video. So we're going back at it, doing a little deck profile about this now. If you know my decks, none of them are completely competitive. Most of them include just mainly deck cards that I like from the archetype. You'll see in this Ghostrick, I'll recommend, like, if you were running them competitively or like more competitively than I do, what cards to run more of, what to run less of. But mainly this is my deck. I love it, and we'll go through it now. So get out of here, XYZs. You come later. I'll put them over here with Alucard. Alucard. Fun fact: Alucard is backwards for Dracula.
Wait, it is?
Yeah, I bet no one in the world knew that. You heard it here first. Okay, so first of all, I run 2 Ghostrick Marys. I'd definitely run 3 of them if I were you. And you want to run it more competitively, but I run 2 just to make more room. And also, this one is the expensive one. That and Alucard, these, I believe last time I checked, they were like close to £10 each. But yeah, Ghostrick Mary is one of the very important ones, because the main tactic in Ghostrick is to just annoy your opponent through having them have face-down defense position monsters, you having face-down defense position monsters that can't be attacked, and also stopping them from attacking. Ghostrick Mary, in this effect, you'll find that pretty much all Ghostrick cards, all the monsters have, if it gets into focus, they cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick monster, and once per turn you can change this card to face down defense position. So with all Ghostricks, you need at least 1 Ghostrick out in the field, or you just set it. But most of the time it doesn't matter, you're happy with setting it, because of reasons I'll get into later. And you can flip it up during your turn, use its effect, well, except for Mary's, just as an example, and then put it back face down. But Ghostrick Mary has the effect of being out of focus and hard to read. But anyway, when you take damage in any form, you can discard this card, special summon 1 Ghostrick monster from your deck in face down defense position. You can only use this effect of Ghostrick Mary once per turn. So Ghostrick Mary is really good for getting Ghostricks onto your field so that you can summon more during your turn. And of course, stopping more damage through using cards such as Ghostrick Spectre, who we'll get through later. But yeah, I run 2, I suggest 3, but I'm poor. 2, again I'd run 3 of these. Ghostrick Stein. Ghostrick Stein is the main beater with 0 defense, which is useful for some support cards I'll get into later, and 1600 attack. It is one of the biggest beaters apart from Alucard. It is the biggest beater that isn't XYZ, and it's 1600. Pretty pathetic, you might say, but it's quite annoying when you use them against your opponent, because when you inflict battle damage with Ghostrick, with Ghostrick Stein, you can add 1 Ghostrick spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, but you can only use it once per turn. And again, that's good for getting some of the field spells, because Ghostrick Mansion and Ghostrick Parade, which I don't run, but that's very good at getting more Ghostricks. For example, Ghostrick Mansion stops you from getting half as much battle damage, and yeah, I'll get into it later. I'm getting ahead of myself. This one is water damaged. As you can see, it wasn't my fault. That's when you get an overzealous girlfriend who's got, oh, I got my Dolces, I'm gonna get a drink and sort them all out. And then she spills it all over your cards, and it's like, oh, thank God my cards are fine. I'm looking at you. But yeah, I run 3 Ghostrick Spectres. Ghostrick Spectre is your main defense and what you'd usually summon with Ghostrick Mary. Simply because when a Ghostrick monster is destroyed by... has all the effects pretty much as it. As all of them, can't be special summoned. Can't be normal summoned unless you have a Ghostrick monster. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position, etc, etc. When a Ghostrick monster is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, or by battle, with their attacking monster and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand in face down defense position. If you do, draw 1 card. So that also affects this one. So for example, oh, you destroyed Spectre. Okay, I'll get a Spectre. So it's always good to have one of these in your hand because it also keeps hand presence because you can draw more cards. So always good. Spectre's always good. That's why I run 3, and also they're quite cheap, which is also why 3. Ghostrick Lantern, another one. I suggest you run in 3s because it's another one. It's another one of those defense cards that stops, that keeps you keeping monster presence on the field. Again, all Ghostrick effects. Just apply them to all, so I don't have to keep repeating myself. But when a monster declares a direct attack, or when a Ghostrick monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand in face down defense position. So for example, if you have a Spectre who's about to get destroyed, or another 1-star, which will help with special summoning some of your XYZs I'll get into later, you can negate it and put in Jack-o'-lantern, and then boom, you immediately have 2 cards that can be XYZ summoned for a Doulahan, or Christopher Vulcan. So that's cool. This is the Headless Horseman. Again, I'll get into it later. But yeah, that's Ghostrick Lantern and Ghostrick Spectre's effects. It's just, no, you're not attacking me. Go to face down defense position. That is basically my deck. That is Ghostrick's effects. 2 Jiangshis, again, they're very good for XYZ summons. And if you want, you can run 3. I run 2 because I don't see much more of a point in them than having 2. Jiangshi has the effect of when it's flipped face up, you can add to your deck to your hand 1 Ghostrick monster whose level is less than or equal to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. You can only use this effect once per turn, which is again why I only run 1. But still, even if you have 1 Jiangshi out in the field, boom, you can go get a Spectre or a Lantern, and then a Lantern can negate the effect of being attacked. So, just flip it over during your turn. It's 400, but it's an 18 defense, so it's one of the highest defense you can get, apart from Yeti, I believe, who's 2000. So it can take quite a lot of standard hits, and then give it some effect. Give its effect. So I run 2 of those, and then I run 2 Jack Frosts, another one to stop attacks coming in. So when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can change the opponent's monster to face down defense position, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand in face down defense position. So boom, someone attacks with a big strong monster, boom, it's face down defense position, you're face down defense position, so you've got another defense position monster. And then you've got another Jack Frost, which is 1-star, so you can use it for another Doulahan. XYZ summons. And next is Ghoul. I only run 1 of them, but that's mainly because I just wanted to run a zombie. You don't have to run him. I run him because I like him, and his effect is pretty good against pretty decent sized monsters, or if you're only allowed to attack once due to some stupid crap cards your opponent has.
What, you mean like Kaiser Colosseum? Yeah.
Well, not Kaiser Colosseum, because that involves actually having monsters out in the field.
Oh, okay.
And Ghostrick Ghoul's effect is once per turn during your main phase, you can target 1 Ghostrick monster you control. Its attack becomes equal to the combined original attack of all Ghostrick monsters currently on the field until the end of your opponent's next turn. But if it does, only that monster can attack this turn. This can also be really good since you can put everyone else down into, well, for example, with Alucard. Alucard is the biggest beater in the deck, but it only has 1800. Ghostrick Ghoul can just power up Alucard, who defends all your other monsters, being a massive beater. Or if you have to run over something that just won't go face down defense position, which is borderline impossible this time. So yeah, I run one of him just for the variety, so I can have a different hand each turn. I run one Ghostrick Warwolf because when building this deck, played the Wolf Among Us, and I wanted a big B in my deck. That's mainly why he's here, but also he has a pretty cool effect. When this card is flipped face up, inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each set card on the field. You can only use this effect of Ghostrick Warwolf once per turn. It's 1400 and 1500 defense. So again, like kind of if you're in a stalemate, say if you can't run over any of your opponents or defeat them, or summon anything better, you can just keep annoying them by summoning, just by flipping up all your Ghostricks, inflicting 100 for each of them, and then just flipping them face down. So, pretty good, a little annoying, not the best, but I like it. Ghostrick Mummy, I run one, again for the variety. He's pretty good, I'd run more if you like his effect, which is, while this card is face up on the field, you can normal summon one Ghostrick monster in addition to your normal summon set. Except, dark, you can only special summon dark monsters. Only normal summon. You cannot special summon any monsters except for dark monsters. Sorry, wording. So yeah, this just helps you get more Ghostricks out on the field. It's pretty good, and also it's a 1500 beater with 0 defense. But still, I run one spooky, scary skeleton. Because any more would just be too spooky for me. When this card is.
God.
Ooh, that joke is so bad. Ooh.
I really tried not to laugh.
I gave David back pain from how bad that joke was.
Oh my god.
Hashtag too spooky for me. Hashtag 3 spooky 5 me. When this card is flipped face up, banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down, up to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. You can only use this effect once per turn. So again, it's another one of those, if you're kind of in a stalemate, and you just want to annoy your opponent, you can keep flipping all your Ghostricks plus Skeleton up, and then just make him mill some cards. Okay. Next one is one Yuki owner. I'm going to get a lot of flack for how many singles I have in this deck. But again, it's what I wanted. I know it's not good. Like I said, I'm not trying to defend it in terms of competitive. This isn't a proper competitive deck. If it was, I'd have like 3 of all the standards. Like all of you guys and all of every other Yu-Gi-Oh card ever, archetype ever, I'd run 3 of the cores and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can change this the monster that destroyed it to face down defense position, and if you do, it cannot change its battle position. So if they're getting an almighty freaking like super omega like Cyber Dragon or
16,000.
yeah, 16,000 attack, it's like well, to be fair, in that combo I'd die anyway because I think you have overrun. But anyway, screw it, it goes face down forever. One Nekomusume. That's right, another single. When a level 4 or higher monster is normal or special summoned, change that monster to face down defense position. There must be another Ghostrick monster on the field to activate and resolve this effect. This one by itself isn't the most powerful because it's like, oh, I mean it does stop combos if you keep it face up. It's a bit of a risky business because it's only got 400 attack and 900 defense. But on top of that, I run Nekomusume with 2 witches which just help me keep everything face down, as well as some of the other traps later. So Witch and Nekomatsume help me keep everything on my opponent's side of the field, as well as all my defense cards, such as Yukiona or Jack-o'-lantern. Keep everything face down and in defense position so that you can't attack me. Because Witch's effect is once per turn I can select... once per turn you can change this card to face down defense position, and once per turn you can target one face up monster on your opponent controls, change it to face down defense position. So yeah, these, I've run 2 of them because they're pretty freaking useful, along with 1 cat. Nekomatsume. That's it. That's the name. That's the name.
Close enough.
Right, that's pretty much all my monsters. Now onto magics. Onto the magics. I run 1, 2, 3 Ghostrick Mansions. This is the main field spell that I feel you kind of have to have in order to run Ghostricks. As monsters cannot attack face down defense position monsters, and the majority of the time you're going to have face down defense position monsters, and you're not going to want to attack their face down defense position monsters because you have a bunch of little wimpy ghost monsters who can't really attack with more than 400 to 1500 attack. So you're just going to want to go and use its other ability, which is they can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls are face down defense position. All effect damage and battle damage inflicted by monsters other than Ghostrick monsters is halved. So that's right. Yeah, you knock my little 400 attack or my 1500 attack, but if I can consistently do that every single turn, because all your cards are face down, and then your cards are most of the time are face down, and even if you can attack, it's half damage. So this is the main engine that I use with this deck, is just to usually through Stein, which is why I say run 3 of them, because he's very good, and also Spectre helps if you draw it, to get Ghostrick Mansion so you can just keep attacking your opponent directly. And just annoy him with him constantly being locked down due to all of his monsters being face down, either during his or your turn. So I run 3 of that, and then just 1 Misty Space, because Misty Space is so useful. Mystical Space Typhoon for layman's.
So staple.
It's so staple. And then Book of Life, 1 Book of Life, because you target 1 zombie type monster in your graveyard, or 1 monster in and 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon the first target and banish the second target. So a lot of these cards that I've just listed as zombies, and you can easily banish anything that you think is too dangerous in theirs. Book of Moon, because face down is great. Dark Hole, because destroying everything is great. Recurring Nightmare, select 2 target monsters with 0 defense, dark monsters with 0 defense in your graveyard, and return them to your hand, because you're going to have a lot of dark monsters with 0 defense. And 2, I'd suggest running 3, but 2 will do fine. Swords of Concealing Light, because Swords of Concealing Light is basically Swords of Revealing Light, but for face down. When you activate this card, change all monsters on your opponent's side of the field to face down defense position. While this card is face up on the field, monsters on your opponent's side of the field cannot change their battle positions except with a card effect. Destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. Strangely, I almost always have both of these in my hand, and they always usually just stall for a lot of time so I can set up. And even when they manage to destroy it, draw a Misty Space, I'm like, oh, that's great. You destroy that one. I activate this.
Like our last duel.
Yeah, very, very annoying card. Very good for stalling. And that's all my magics. Onto traps, which is the majority Ghostricks. I run 1 Ghostrick go round. It's a constant, and it's pretty good for maintaining face downs on the field. Once per turn, during the battle phase, you can activate one of these effects. The first one is target one Ghostrick monster you control, change that target to face down defense position. If you do, change one face down defense position monster your opponent controls to face up attack position. I have never used that effect because I always use the second one. Target one face down defense position monster you control, change that target to face up attack position. And if it is a Ghostrick monster, change one face up monster your opponent controls to face down defense position. As you can see, I run all Ghostricks, and it's always, if they're like, you know, you can let them do their big combo, get it out of big monster, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, it goes face down. Oh, that's nice, dear. Now go to face down defense position. Ghostrick Knight. I run 2. Again, you can run 3. It's a pretty freaking annoying card. But it's constant, so that's why I run 2. So I don't clog up my hand. While a Ghostrick monster is on the field, your opponent cannot flip summon. So for example, if you're using Ekumusume and Witch, or any of the other cards that I've just listed to get them in face down defense position, boom, you just put down a Ghostrick Knight, and when this card is in your possession, they cannot flip summon. But when it is in your possession, is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, your opponent cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn. So even if they're trying to get rid of it to, you know, do their ultimate attack, they can't attack anyway. Ghostrick Vanish, which is pretty good. I only run 2 of them again. Reveal one Ghostrick monster in your hand. This turn, Ghostrick cards you control and face down defense position monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. So I use these because back when I made this I was like, oh, Insectors are powerful, I better prepare for that. But they got nuked into oblivion. But yeah, I'm sure this is still useful. I'm sure this is still useful for you young kids and your
Pokemans.
And your Pokemans. Oh, speaking of which, guys, we actually are going to cover a lot more Pokemon on the channel.
Got 2 products coming.
Yeah.
Booster box and an Elite Trainer box.
Yes. Ghostrick Scare. I run 2 of them. And Ghostrick Scare is just target any number of face down defense position monsters you control. Change them to face up defense position. Count the number of Ghostrick monsters among them. And if you do, change up to that many face up monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Minimum 1. So yeah, just another control card for face down defense. Call of the Haunted.
Staple.
You almost know it. Yeah, it's a staple. Yeah. If you don't know what it is, there's a blurry description of what it is, and it's called Call of the Haunted. If you don't know what it is, then you should, because it's old. And 1 Needle Sealing. When there are 4 or more monsters on the field, destroy all face-up monsters. So even if somehow they've kept some friggin' cards face up after all the constant face-down onslaught that I've got, you can just destroy them. And that's all the regular cards. I'll move on to the extra deck. Again, I run 2 of these because they're frickin' expensive. 2 Ghostrick Alucards. Run 3 of them. They're very useful if you have more pocket money than I do. Ghostrick Alucard is a 3xyz. Your opponent cannot target other Ghostrick monsters or any face down defense position monsters for attacks. You can detach 1 XYZ material from this card and target 1 set card your opponent controls. They should hopefully be all set. They're not. Something's really going wrong for you. And then just send it to the graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 other Ghostrick card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. And that of course includes another Alucard if you've previously lost one. So main beta, very good at just destroying cards. And if you see, you know, they've put a big monster face down or a trap, if you're going to go for an out attack, you can just destroy it. Next one is 2. Again, I'd run 3 Doulahan. Why is this deck full of 2? Like, basically, I couldn't count higher than 2 when I built this deck, to be honest. That's why they're all 2s. 2 level 1, very good because you have so many level 1s, and due to Spectre, you can very easily get a lot of level 1s out on the field. It gains 200 attack for each Ghostrick card you control. Starts off at 1000, not very good, but once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, then target one face-up monster on the field, halve its attack until the end phase. So that works very well with Alucard, because even there's like a 3000 beta, Alucard can defeat it easily. And say for example, if you have Ghostrick Ghoul out on the field, you can combine them all and just obliterate quite a lot of cards. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of the Ghostrick card in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. So those are the main ones. I also have a So Cute bus and a Ghostrick Angel of Mischief. I don't actually use them, but they're adorable and they're in they're in my deck anyway, so I may as well describe them.
It's your card crush. You have a card crush on
them. I have a card crush. They're so kawaii ugu, or whatever the hell it is. So yeah, So Cute bus cannot be targeted as long as you have another face up. Sorry, once per turn you can detach one. Blah, blah, blah. Once per turn you can detach one XYZ material, then target one face-up monster on the field with attack less than or equal to the combined attack of all Ghostrick monsters out on the field, and destroy it. So again, if you have a full field, you can destroy quite a lot of things. And then you lock that card zone, so they cannot use that card zone again. So again, that's really useful, and hopefully the other ones should be clogged full of face-down defense position monsters. And Mischief is one of the newer ones, which requires 2 level 4 monsters. Again, I only have 2 level 4 monsters, which is... Hey guys, sorry, the battery went out. Yeah, I totally didn't have a complete relapse. But yeah, that's pretty much my Ghostrick deck. Hope you've actually survived long enough. 27 minutes for me waffling on about it. David, you want to add anything?
No, just press the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more of these videos. Maybe not 27-minute deck.
Yeah, I know, right? What the hell was that about?
But let us know in the comments what you think of this deck. I'm sorry if it was a bit long, but it is quite a complicated deck, so it needed the extra explaining. Yeah.
So yeah, do comment if you think that I've waffled on way too long. If you don't think I've waffled on enough, then comment. If you feel like I've completely missed a great big chunk of Ghostricks, if you want their complete history compendium, I will be happy to describe them. Again, like, it's because I run pretty much every single Ghostrick in this deck that I've had to describe every single one of them. So yeah, if you think I've done something horribly wrong, if you think that I may have somehow done something right in this deck, just comment. I'd love to hear it. Bye bye.